Welcome to the Touchdown Bears podcast. I am Richard Fung. In this edition of Bear in Mind, we are going to discuss LSU left tackle Will Campbell. After trading for Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson and signing center Drew Dahlman in free agency, many Bears fans want GM Ryan Poles to finish the revamp of the offensive line and draft a left tackle like Campbell. Campbell is 6'6", 319, and the top-rated left tackle on many people's boards. You look at his scouting reports, and you see that he's very athletic and agile, durable, he's a good run blocker, he plays with a mean streak. But then you look at the negatives, and two big ones stand out. He struggles against inside moves, and of course, he's got short arms. The way people talk about his arms, it makes you think they're like little T-Rex arms. But look, arm length is a big deal for tackles. His arms measured at 32 5/8 inches at the combine and 33 inches at his pro day. In terms of his fit for the Bears, he would at least create competition for incumbent left tackle Braxton Jones. Jones is pretty good. Not great, but pretty good, especially considering that he was a 5th-round pick. Jones is recovering from ankle surgery for a fractured ankle, and he's expected to be limited in training camp, according to head coach Ben Johnson. Jones is also going into the final year of his contract, and if he plays reasonably well for another season, you're looking at a double-digit million-a-year contract if you want to re-sign him. Unless he turns into Orlando Pace this year, I don't know if you want to give him that much money. Then you have Karan Amagaji, the Bears' 3rd-round pick from last year. Needless to say, he had a rough go of it when the Bears threw him into the starting lineup in that Monday night game against Minnesota. Of course, he had a quad injury coming out of college that caused him to miss most of training camp, and then he didn't get a lot of practice reps during the season. So it's understandable that he struggled. With a full offseason to train, he could be better. But right now, the best thing about Amagaji is the story of how he met Matt Eberflus on the golf course a year before the Bears drafted him. Now, back to Campbell. How can the Bears get him? Well, most mock drafts have Campbell going in the top 5, usually at number 4 overall to New England. It's unlikely that he'll fall to 10, where the Bears are. But even if he did fall to 10, I'm not really sure if the Bears should take him there. The arm length thing is a thing, and if you have a top 10 pick, do you really want to use it on a player who comes into the league with a clear size disadvantage from an arm length and wingspan standpoint? I know that he's faced top competition in the SEC. He's a great kid by all accounts, but I don't know. It's a tough one. If the argument is that if he doesn't work out at left tackle, then you can just kick him inside the guard. 10 overall is pretty high to draft a guard, and there's no guarantee that he'd be able to adapt to playing guard. In terms of alternatives at left tackle, they all have holes. That's the thing about the position this year. There is no Joe Alt, there is no Joe Thomas, there is no sure-thing prospect. Texas's Kelvin Banks Jr. could be an option, but it seems like a lot of people say that he ends up on the ground too much, and some project him as a guard because of his arm length. For what it's worth, the Chicago Tribune's Brad Biggs selected him for the Bears in his first 2 mock drafts, and I trust Biggsy as much as anyone on the Bears beat. He did say recently, though, that his thinking has shifted more towards best player available. From what I've seen, it looks like Banks' stock is rising a bit recently. But for me, 10 overall seems too high to take him. Banks could be an option if the Bears traded down, though. Missouri's Armand Membu wowed everyone at the combine, but he's only played right tackle, and it would be a gamble to try to switch him to the other side. Ohio State's Josh Simmons looked like he might be on track to be the best left tackle in this class until he suffered a torn patella tendon in October. He could be another option if the Bears trade down, somewhere in the 20-25-ish range. Josh Connerly Jr. from Oregon could be an option early in the second round. He's got good movement skills, above average arm length, but has some issues against the bull rush, and we already have a left tackle who has some issues against the bull rush. Minnesota's Arante Ursary is a name that's come up more often recently. He's a huge guy at 6'6", 331. He moves pretty well for a big guy, but is a bit stiff when trying to recover. He could be a nice target for the Bears in round 2. So, but there you go. Will Campbell is not very likely to become a Bear, and I'm not really sure I want him to become a Bear. But in such an unpredictable draft, anything can happen. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for my next Bear in Mind, Penn State tight end Tyler Warren.